Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Oh my gosh. Today I'm breaking my fast. Cream, little honey in here, a little bit. When you're away from something, when you come back to it, you appreciate it that much more. Whether it be coffee, food, relationships. Planned time apart. When I started doing the Daybreak Show just Monday through Friday rather than also randomly on the weekends, I feel like I appreciated it more and you appreciated it more. And I like to give more random things on the weekends as well. I'm looking at the moon right now with a very bright star kind of at about 7 o'clock, and a little bit less brighter of a star up at, I'd say, about 1 or 2 o'clock. Interesting. I can't say that I've ever noticed it so bright from sitting here in the morning, looking out from the cozy nook. It's hypnotizing. Spooky. Getting unstuck. Let's talk about that a little bit. What are the metrics? A lot of people say, I'm getting unstuck. Thanks to you, I'm getting unstuck. Are you making more money? Are you 10 pounds lighter? Have you increased muscle mass? Are you sleeping better? Are your relationships better? Did you ditch a relationship as a result of some of the teaching here? Did you get into a relationship as a result of some of the teaching here? Have you corrected things as a result? It takes a long time to get unstuck. But there are physical, visible metrics. One of the best things that you can do is take pictures of yourself before and after. And I'm not just talking about gym selfies, that type of thing. When you're unstuck, you look different. You flow. In the same way that since I've gotten more into shape, I float when I walk. I don't thud when I walk. I float. I don't notice my feet, my knees, my hips. People say to me, you seem lighter. And they're not just talking about my body. And it is true. You become lighter in life. Handle things better. You get better shock absorbers in life. You don't get hit with things as hard as you used to, mentally and emotionally. You can rationally deal with your problems. You prefer solitude versus having to be with somebody. The worst place to be, I've always said this, it's better to be single and wish you were married than be married and wish you were single. But in both scenarios, you have something to work with. When it comes to marriage, you need a cooperative partner. That's real important. But you've heard me say this in the past. Don't expect those closest to you to support you. Do not. And if you announce your intentions to those closest to you, you will get mocked. People are going to go, here we go again. Especially if you've tried this before. Zip it. You can tell me. Pretend you're talking to me right now. Tell me what your goals are. Tell me what your to-do list is for 2019. While I'm having another sip of coffee. Tell me, what is your major accomplishment that you're going to achieve in 2019? Tell me while I'm drinking this. Okay. Now, my next question is what are you going to do about it? What plans do you have? If you don't commit it to paper, if you don't write your goals and your objectives down and put a date on it and keep it before you, in 2020, we're going to be sitting here, right here. You're going to be watching me, and I'm going to be saying, 2020 is the year that you get unstuck. You don't want to do that. I've been doing that for 3 years now. Talking about getting unstuck in the oncoming year. And then, when the new year comes, reaching a whole new crowd of people who want to get unstuck. Then they fall back into the same behavior patterns over and over and over, eating the same crap over and over, getting into the same kind of relationships, getting into the same kind of fights, disagreements, arguments, conflict. Having to jump into something. I met the love of my life. She's the love of my life. Oh, dude. Girl. You are the love of your life. Everyone else is meant to complement your life. That's the way it works. Let's get started. Literally rolled out of the sack in just enough time to boil water in the kettle, grind my coffee, pour it into the French press, pour the hot water in there, and that was it. So my preparation usually comes from the night before when I look at my notes and talk about what I'm going to say today. All of that thinking is done the night before, and I sleep on it. I just woke up. That's why I love my first cup of coffee, and I'm always getting my first sip in real time. Some people said that this guy gets too excited about coffee because you're watching my first sip. Another thing fasting does is it shows you that you don't need anything. It teaches you to be self-reliant, even from food. I took a poll. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any. And the choices were pudding, vegetables, dessert, or chopsticks. 55% said pudding. 9% said vegetables. 25% said dessert. 11% said chopsticks. If you know where that came from, please comment down below. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. Where did that come from? No cheating. Pivoting. I was talking to Denise about this. Pivot. I used the word. She was using the word. She noticed that I was using the word. A central point, a pin or shaft on which a mechanism or you turn or oscillate. Circumstances can bring a pivot, can make you turn. Being sick and tired of things can make you turn. They can bring on that pivot. How will you pivot in your life? You're going down a certain direction. Don't wait for there to be multiple choices. Life has been presenting you with choice. You make the choice. This is going to speak to you, I know it is. You make the choice rather than allowing life to make the choices for you, where you want to live, who you're going to be with. Don't let your fatness determine who's attracted to you. Let's get attractive. Let's pursue excellence so we attract excellence. A couple months ago, I said, would you, some people thought that was vulgar, but the reality is, when you are looking at you, could you see where somebody would be attracted to you in any way? Or could they be attracted more? That's not just in relationships, in business. Can people be attracted to you for your temperament, for your relation, for a possible relationship, for a business relationship, for a workout buddy relationship? Is there someone at your gym that you would be like, wow, I'd love to just like work out with that person. I think they'd be a good partner. They would pump me up, keep me accountable. Are people looking at you in that way? Do people purposely reach out to you and want to partner with you, not just relationships? You can go to other channels for that. Do people want to partner with you for encouragement, to move ahead in life, to get unstuck? It's a great place to be in life. I experience it 7 days a week. Pivot. It's time to pivot. I hope you liked my video on how to make biltong, a South African dried beef dish. I make it in a dehydrator. In South Africa, they make it in a large box, a wooden box, and they hang it up on hooks, on racks in the box. And there's either a small heater or a light bulb and a fan that's gently heating, kind of like an easy bake oven. Some of you guys that are older would know what that is. And what it is, it circulates warm air inside the box and exhausts it. And there's vents on the box with screens on them so bugs don't get in. And meat is then thereby dried. I don't have that. I'll probably build one this summer, but I make mine in the dehydrator. Such an incredible, good for you snack, out of this world. You must do it. You must. Watch the video. Social media has trained us in the art of outrage. Prior to the web, nothing pissed anybody off. Nothing worth outrage. When she speaks of you, men, to other women, does your woman refer to you as the vortex? And when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. Sexual healing is good for me, makes me feel so fine. It's such a rush. Helps to relieve the mind, and it's good for us. Marvin Gaye, 1981. You know, the minute you start hearing that song, the minute you start hearing that song, you feel good. Nobody can whine. That's the only, there's this Marvin Gaye whine in the very beginning of the song. Nobody can do that like him. It's incredible. Put the kibosh on it. Kibosh, first seen around 1830. Charles Dickens used it in his writing. Some say it could be Yiddish. Many people say it's possibly Irish. Coming from the word kipe Bosch, 2 words, meaning cap of death, a black cap a judge would use when pronouncing a death sentence, or referring to the gruesome methods of killing used by the Brits against 1798 insurgents. I gotta find out what happened in 1798 in Britain, or if it happened in Britain. Americans sort their mail over a trash can. It used to be that you would be excited about something that has your name on it and always open it. But now we've gotten junk mail for, 40, 45 years now? Junk mail? To the point where when email was created, electronic mail, many of you, the E in email means electronic, that we even have spam filters or junk filters to minimize the junk, the stuff you would just throw in the trash can. So if you are marketing and reaching out to people, you've got maybe 3 seconds to make an impression. Maybe. People sort their mail this fast. They look through stuff, chuck. Look, keep. Look, chuck. Maybe 3 seconds. Your email provider does its best to remove regular email from spam and junk mail. In my day, spam was a canned meat that you would fry in a frying pan and have with eggs. So I don't know I wonder how that happened. Someone look that up, please. Can you imagine, like, spam is considered a bad thing, and it's now a verb, like you're spamming me. I remember growing up, we never had it in my house, but I remember going camping, and that was always a safe meat to have, so to speak, that you could take on a camping trip when you were in Boy Scouts, because it cooked well in a pan or over a fire or on a stick. Spam. I'm wondering if there was a lawsuit or somebody got paid big time to be able to use the word spam. Like, you couldn't say, somebody Kleenexed me or somebody Ferrari'd me. I put a video on my Twitter by Rick Bragg, who's one of my favorite authors. Go to my Twitter, @GeorgeBruno. Scroll down and you'll see a video that I put up of Rick Bragg, who's one of my favorite Southern speakers. You will not be disappointed if you read Rick Bragg or watch any of his interviews or talks or whatever on YouTube. And his dad wasn't around. And his mom, it was interesting. He was raised by his mom. And this struck me. He says, I just wanted to find, as he was growing up, he was on this journey. After he grew up, he said, I just wanted to find people who could say something good about my dad. Dudes, you better buckle your ass up when you watch that video, especially if you didn't have a good relationship with your father. I don't care how much he sucked. I don't care how much your dad sucked. I don't care. Matters not to me or anyone else. But there are people somewhere that think your dad is a good guy. And he moved them somehow, some way. I will get off that topic, because that is a rabbit hole. Be your own charitable cause. Give more of a shit about yourself, your income, your body, your relationships, your house, your sleep, than you do about anything else. You come first. And I'm not talking about being selfish to the exclusion of others. You are selfish first, so you can help others. So be your own charitable cause and then give out of the overflow of that. The worst marriage is you and your idea of what marriage or a committed relationship should be. That's the worst marriage in the world. You need to get a divorce. You need to divorce your idea of what a good marriage or relationship should be. Tell it you no longer want it in your life because you're going to be let down. Toby Mack on Facebook, the Pied Piper of post-wall women with a history of bad decisions. God brought you to this moment on purpose. Remember that. On purpose, to prepare you for the future. That's just mixing bad theology with female singleness. They don't go well. The only people who like that nonsense are women who've made bad decisions and are stuck and are getting fat and have just made one bad decision after another. Then they find Jesus. I know because I'm a Christian. And I mix in a lot of those circles. And God's going to bring the right guy along. The white knight in shining armor. And there is always some weak man who wants to assume the responsibility of a white knight. Ladies, lose the white knight. Save yourself. Men, stop saving people. Especially women. Stop it. Let's read a couple letters. I have so many letters. One guy said, I wrote you a couple days ago and you didn't get back to me. What do you have, 1,000 emails? You need to get back to me. If I think you have something intelligent to say, there might be a possibility that I get back to you. Send me a video if you want to get to the top of the list. A lot of unstuck testimonies happening here. Hi George, this is Gary from Idaho. I'm a recent subscriber and I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate the Daybreak show. I am hooked. I find I am gradually getting unstuck thanks to your sage advice. Warmest regards, Gary from Idaho. This is Eric from Texas. Sultan, howdy from Texas, my friend. I started listening to your channel and felt the need to reach out and just say, I think you're doing an awesome job through and through. Like your coffee, I feel like you bring the perfect blend to your videos, the perfect combination of gentleman and man shit. Your shows have helped me to realize I'm living in the good times and have made me appreciate the life I have on a much higher level. I am a successful professional at 36 years of age, single without children. Your shows have helped me in a lot of ways by allowing me to see things in my life that I took for granted before and have given me some someone in a roundabout way to look up to, which is you. Well, I'll stop with the Hallmark stuff. Keep up the great work and piss on the haters. Anyone that sees you gulping your coffee and thinks you're annoying just needs to F off and is not worthy of watching the Sultan. Cheers, amigo. Sipping scotch. And then, this one's really good. I got one yesterday that said, shove your chopsticks up your ass. I pinned it to the top because it was just such an epic response. Shove your chopsticks up your ass. And what is this with this female audience of mine growing? I don't get it. Nadine says, from yesterday's video, I did that. I met a person when I was down. I was blinded by just being treated so wonderfully again. I was devastated and felt so thrown away. I'm sure everyone experiences this at least once, and some handle it better than others. I did not handle it well. I barely made it out of bed, and it's a wonder I held my job, which is all I felt I had going for me at the time. I thought my life was over. It took me a bit over 2.5 years to accept that it was over before I started healing and moving forward. I'll never look at dating or relationships again. However, I'm glad because I feel the experience opened my eyes, and I feel I'm a better person for having that valley in my life. That is a really mature way of looking at things, Nadine. Many times we need to make extreme decisions and say never again. I know men can go what many call MGTOW. I guess there's WGTOW, right? Women going their own way. But I tend to think that women kind of live that way. Men don't. Kathleen Bell Devizia says, George, I'm laughing so hard my stomach hurts. It's true. I am indeed a super freak. Thank you, God. I am so blessed. We XOXO. That was in response to you a freak, but she a super freak. Let's hear it for the super freaks. If you're a super freak, raise your hand, ladies. This is from Teach McBride. Thank you, Dr. Freud. Well, since this is the last time I'll be listening to your wailing bullshit, I just wanted to say thank you for the last 2 years of Beards Without Borders and beard advice. I really did enjoy your podcast, but now I believe one of your former followers said it best. You reek with ego and your head is empty. I have heard for the last 2 years that you are closer to 60 than 50. This is the guy that said, dude, stop lying. You're over 60 years old. Let me just comment on this. If you are 56 years old, you are closer to 60 than you are to 50. Okay? So I've been saying it for 3 years. I'm going to be 60 next year. Duh. Express your age for God's sake. It's true, you reek with arrogance, not confidence. All the degrees you have acquired over the years don't give you the right to give advice to any of these poor souls who are traveling through this world. So Sultan, who is closer to 60 than 50, I bid you adieu. Anyone who says, I bid you adieu, okay? I bid you to God and all your 21 convention male friends, whom, by the way, are just as arrogant as you. Farewell, YouTubers, beware of the idiots. My reply. Get some help for your issues. Here's the number, 1-888-633-3339. Come back when you're ready to be a gentleman. Thank you for subscribing in the past, and I wish you well. Blair writes, "Hello, George, and thank you for your time. I will start by clarifying that this is not a business inquiry, but a video topic or advice column that I really need right now. I've become a fan of yours in just the last few days, and I've been binging your videos as I am really in need of a strong voice for growth and change in my life right now, but I keep finding myself going in circles with these big ideas that are much harder to apply than to talk about. Of course, you already know that." Absolutely. It's easier to talk about things than to set action to them, but it does begin with the first step. "I am coming up on my 21st birthday, currently packing all my shit to move back into my mom's house." Oh. Mom's house is not an incubator. It's not an incubator. It's not an incubator. That's all I can say. Hold on. "I grew up in a small town in Washington State. Upon graduating high school, I immediately moved out to LA to pursue a career in acting." That's your first big mistake. Yes, I know it served no purpose. I am where I am. I moved so quickly because I was accepted into a pretty prestigious private acting school, which I graduated from 7 months ago, 2-year degree. What the hell did I just do to that? Okay. Dude, I was an actor for well over 2 decades. Well over 2 decades. Did a million commercials and infomercials, voiceovers, tried my hardest. At one point, I was one of the most working male actors in my region, the Northeast region. You couldn't turn on the TV without seeing me at one point. I was a full-time actor for 5 years. 5 years. Full-time. It was the brokest 5 years of my life. But a lot of people say, "Oh, I was a full-time actor." Yeah, what they're not saying was that they were buying dented cans and ramen noodles. But as long as they see them, "Hey, see that little brown speck on the lower right-hand corner of that movie? That's me. Quick, pause it. There I am. Look." Well, now the shit has hit the fan, and it's between sleeping in my car or moving back home. What's going to be a bigger motivator? What's going to be more comfortable? I think this is my opinion, I think if you go home, truly, I think if you go home, it's comfort, it's safe, growth, and everything you want in life never happens inside your comfort zone. It's always outside the comfort zone. I think the car might be a good motivator. It's called working without a net. My roommate decided he was giving up on everything and moving home after only 5 months in the real world. I had no intention of quitting and still don't, but I have no roommate and very soon no place to live. I've been searching for other apartments, but any studio is too steep for my blood, and no one I know is looking for a roommate. Well, then go to people who you don't know. So here I am, packing up all my shit, wondering if this is really what all my work has surmounted to, back to square one. You're going to go back to square one 20 times in your lifetime. I have determined that there is nothing else I want to do with my life. The only real sense of accomplishment I feel is from performing. I've said this, I don't know how long you've been listening to me. In the mid-'80s, a book came out called "Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow," which is the biggest lie that has been fed every generation since. If you were born after, let's say, 1985, you've been fed a lie. Number one, you believe that college or formal education is going to get you somewhere. It will get you broke and divorced. Number two, do what makes money and the money will follow. Don't do what you love. If what you love makes money, then fantastic. But think about the money first, and then think about the other things. There's a word for things that you love. It's called hobbies. If you can monetize it, fantastic. Fantastic. Do it. I've had it up to here with actors and performers. Although I can help you, they are quite delusional. Performers are delusional. They think they're going to be the next big thing. You're not. Make yourself the next big thing. Celebritize yourself. Even let's say your roommate didn't take off. Guess what happens in the acting world? Everything that happens to you is going to be you can't make anything happen. Well, I go to auditions. Shut up. Everyone else is making decisions for you between casting directors and agents. You're putting yourself in a world where you have zero control. You're crossing your fingers. You're breaking a leg. Stop it. It's delusional. You're putting yourself in a world where you have zero. There's zero. The juice is not worth the squeeze at all. I can't tell you how many broke-ass people I know who are actors. I'm an actor. Who are working at Whole Foods giving out sausages on toothpicks and chips and salsa with an apron on. I know people like that. Enough already, okay? Maybe you haven't hit your bottom yet. Maybe the sleeping in your car needs to happen because you're going to go back to your mom and she's going to support, guess what? Your bullshit. I'm calling you on your bullshit. I don't have a relationship with you. Your mom does. She might believe in you. And she's your mom. Try pulling that on anyone else. It won't work. When you are in the performance world, you are always depending on other people's decisions. And you find yourself in ass-kissing mode all the time. It's got nothing to do with talent. Take my word for it. Take my word for it. Girls amuse me, but it's all just a game. Okay? At that age it is, yes. Especially in the city, and you can easily waste an entire life chasing beautiful girls who don't give a shit about you. That is correct. So here I am. I have this deep hunger for career success that can't be satiated by anything else. I can't ever seem to physicalize the inner hunger. I'll be honest, I struggle to get out of bed in the morning. Well, no shit, because you're not making any money. Money gets you out of bed. Results get you out of bed. Consequences and the results of hard work get you out of bed. It's embarrassing, but I feel so empty. I've had a couple years out there, and it's left me in a lonely and dark place. It didn't leave you there. You left you there. What if you took full 100% responsibility for everything in your life? Everyone in my life tells me that I have incredible talent, but I don't work hard enough. It's got nothing to do with working hard. It's luck. Being an actor is like going into a casino. You pull the lever on a slot machine and you cross your fingers hoping that you're going to win. That's what auditions are like. You audition with, guess what? 20 people that look like you, that are part of your demographic and age range. And guess what? You're rolling the dice every single time you go for an audition. I'm not a big fan of going into acting. Not a big fan. Celebritize yourself. Even in middle school, I remember my report card always reading, great potential but needs to do the work. You just described every single kid out there. That's not unique. You're living in a fog that you have this unique life. You don't have a unique life. It's not unique. I'm going to come that short of calling you a pussy. The Dan Pena method, which he humiliates people. I don't want to humiliate you. I want to empower you and give you a truth bomb without making you feel like crap. Okay? I spend pretty much every night lying awake wondering, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, you went into acting. How can I change? Learn a trade. Have something you can do with your hands and create something. What you do isn't valuable. You are living under the delusion that what you are doing has value. It has zero value. Nothing. Nobody will pay you for acting. Nobody. Oh, I was background in a movie. I was that little brown spot in the right-hand corner. Stop it. Why won't my body do what my mind is telling it to do? For a while, I blamed the weed. Well, duh. If you're smoking weed at all, you're not going anywhere, period. I don't give a crap what anyone says. It takes your give a shit away. Your give a damn goes when you smoke weed. That's just the reality. Unless you're using it medicinally. That's the first time I read that right there. Blame the weed. No, blame you. That weed didn't just float through the air and work its way to your mouth. It took a hand to decide, and a mind to decide to use it. I don't drink or do any drugs. For a while, I blamed the weed. I don't drink or do any drugs. Wait a minute. For a while, I blamed the weed, but I don't do any drugs. Where's your father? Where's your father? So I figured it must be the herb. Nope. Turns out even sober, I'm a spineless shit. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. It's the Jimmy Buffett transformation in the song Margaritaville, where finally the last verse of the song, he said, "It's my own damn fault." I have this returning feeling like I don't have a strong foundation here. You don't. You didn't create anything. I moved out here with nobody to help me, no way to support myself. Yes, on a delusion. No concrete plan for the future. That's delusional. But I also feel like I can't build the foundation of a complex and colossal thing on my own. Read the book. I think it's called Jump In or Dive In or whatever. Just read. You can get it anywhere. The hell's in it? As a matter of fact, I'm going to find the book right now. It's by Mark Burnett. I'll tell you exactly what it is. I thought it was very... It's called Jump In. Read Jump In by Mark Burnett. Read the whole damn thing, take notes in the columns, underline and highlight, and then get back to me. Please. Mark Burnett wrote a book called Jump In. There's no bitching and moaning about sleeping in a car there. So my question is, how do I get my shit together and make 2019 my year? How do I awaken this fucking animalistic instinct within, lose the delusion, you're not living in reality, and make the most of every day? You know, I tell people if your goals aren't big enough, or if people aren't laughing at your goals, then they're not big enough. That is not a goal. You don't have a goal, because when you're an actor, when you are a performer, you are putting 100% of your success in someone else's hands. They are deciding for you. You could be a great person in auditions, but if you're not chosen, you don't get the job, you don't get paid. That's the way the world works. That's the way of the world, my brother. So how do I turn these big ideas into a fucking reality? To make any step forward, I'm going to have to earn some money. What kind of job do you recommend for someone like me? Work in McDonald's, Starbucks, do it. Start at the bottom, mopping floors, cleaning toilets, walk 25% faster, groom yourself like fucking George Clooney. Get to work early, stay late. Do whatever it takes. Impress, work your way up the damn ladder. How do I start my days? How do I orient my future for success each day? What do I eat? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for all that you do, George. I don't give free advice. This is it right here. If you want coaching, it costs money. So if you can't learn from my former videos, everything that you need to do is in my former videos. Watch them. If you can't find a nugget that you can leverage, and you have to write me a letter like this. This is a cold, hard truth pill. It's hard to swallow. Get me going on actors. Ugh. Everyone's going to make it. Everybody thinks they're going to be the next big thing. It's not going to happen. You got to make it happen. You chose the wrong field. Make some money, get yourself financially secure, and then you can move on. If you're going to use your mom's house, use it to save money, to not pursue more fucking acting. Get a trade. Earn some money. Stop making your mother pay for your mistakes. Parenting is over, buddy. At 18, parenting was over. And with that, I'm going to say have a good day, finish your coffee, and I will see you tomorrow morning on the Daybreak Show. Don't forget to subscribe to my upcoming newsletter. It's my private Unstuck newsletter. Go to georgebruno.com. And if you want to read a good book about how other people have made it from nothing I'll put the link for Jump In. I didn't plan this, but it just came to my mind. Jump In by Mark Burnett. Absolutely incredible. See you tomorrow morning.